Alright, what's up guys, Toasty here, Get Burnt. Today I'm going to bring you guys a video talking about the Dragon Ball Z Revival of F second chapter. So the Revival of F second chapter was actually shown in the V-Jump. They actually synopsized all of the chapter, and we are actually here and are about to talk about the second chapter. So this is going to have major spoilers for the movie, so if you don't want spoilers for the movie, which I would assume that you don't, I would suggest you do not watch this video. But before you leave, make sure to leave a like, and I would really appreciate it because, you know, that really helps the channel and everything. But yes, if this does include major spoilers, which it does, you may not want to watch further. Now, for the chapter itself, so mainly the chapter really only shows Frieza's coming to Earth as well as Goku and Vegeta training with Whis. And I'm glad that Whis actually has a more important role in this movie, because last in Battle of Gods, he really didn't have an important role. It was mainly about Beerus the entire movie. Whis was kind of just a bystander, just eating food, and he really didn't do many things, especially in the end when they said that Whis was actually stronger than Beerus, or at least Whis was his teacher. That was just something that made me really think about it. I was like, really? He's his teacher? I wonder how strong he is. And apparently he is training both Goku and Vegeta, but we already knew this because it kind of gave some little not spoilers, but it gave some little hints towards the new chapter, and it was showing Whis fighting against Goku and Vegeta, aka him training them. I guess that's the insignia on their pieces of armor, or obviously Goku's gi. So that's really awesome. I mean, this pretty much half of this chapter is just talking completely about Whis training Goku and Vegeta and their talks while fighting and everything. And it's really awesome. I'll leave you guys to read that because it's really not something that's really discussion worthy, or at least not discussion worthy, but it's not something that I can really easily talk about. But it is cool, and I'm glad that they're giving Whis a bigger role in the movie. Now, the thing is, it's funny because Beerus actually wakes up early, so considering that Videl has actually had Pan at this point, by the point that this movie is taking place, that means that this would be about a year after Battle of Gods, or at least that's what we can assume. It would be a year or two maybe after Battle of Gods, but I'm not really sure. I would assume it's around a year, or hopefully around a full year, but we really don't know, because since Beerus is waking up early, we really have no way of telling, because they gave us certain year time in the end of Battle of Gods saying that he will sleep for 3 years, or at least Beerus said that he would sleep for 3 years, and now since he's waking up early, it really kind of leaves us in the dark as to how long later this is after Battle of Gods. So that's something to think about. But yes, now we pretty much get the entire opening sequence, which we kind of saw in the trailer, with Frieza coming on Earth, and obviously the main person that he's looking forward to defeating and killing is Goku. And we all knew this already, and sadly, you know how we have always been talking about Goten and Trunks and them being in the movie and them maybe having a slightly bigger role here? Sadly, that gets swiped and crushed away here because apparently Gohan says that they actually didn't want to tell, I'll read this for you. Mrs. Bulma told me not to mention anything to Trunks or Goten. I agree, I don't want them involved. Now, that's something that I don't understand. And then also a little bit later, they wonder where Boo is. Fat Boo, first, the original technical Majin, well, the original, but Majin Buu, Fat Majin Buu. They say he's not coming because he's fallen asleep. So they're leaving 3 people out. Most likely Goten, Trunks, and Buu will not appear in the movie at all. Now that's something, obviously, we already knew that this movie was going to be catered more towards Vegeta and Goku than anybody else. This movie really isn't about anyone else besides those two, because, you know, they are the ones that are more affected by Frieza than anyone else here. Which, I still wonder, why would you leave Trunks and Goten out? Because I was kind of looking forward. Obviously, it wouldn't have been a huge thing, and I sincerely doubt that Akira Toriyama would ever bring adult Gotenks into this. And judging by how old they'd be, I guess that he probably wouldn't want them to age at all anyway. Sadly, he probably wouldn't have even made them do anything, but I was kind of looking forward to the quarrel between, like, since Trunks is the person who killed Frieza, and technically in the chapter, he did say that he was looking forward to killing the 2 Saiyans that had humiliated him, which would be Goku and Trunks, because future Trunks is the one that killed Frieza. But here, I guess, since Trunks won't appear, there won't be that somewhat quarrel, because obviously, even though Trunks is technically not as old as future Trunks here, he still would be somewhat recognizable, because his hair is not not really common. So I would assume that Frieza would have some sort of reaction to that, as well as Goten, because Goten looks so much like Goku. I thought that Frieza probably would have some sort of like thing about that, but I guess that all of that has just gone to waste, like since they didn't want to really include Trunks or Goten in the battle, which kind of makes me a little bit sad. I wonder if they'll show them in the movie at all. I've seen the leaked picture of the manga piece that everyone's been showing around saying that it's Goten, but I really haven't seen any clear proof of the chapter itself that it is Goten. So I really don't know. We will have to see when the second chapter comes out in full, but if the second chapter comes out and we actually get to see all of this, including Goten, then I really wonder what they're doing. But, you know, if they don't appear at all in the movie, I'm saying that it's not going to ruin the entire movie for me, because, you know, that's not really what the movie is primarily about. It's more Frieza fighting Goku and Vegeta and their entire battle, which that's the big meat of the movie. So I'm not really sad as much as you would expect from there not being any Goten or Trunks or Fat Boo, but I guess that it's kind of disappointing in a way, but I'm not saying that in a way like saying the movie's gonna be bad or anything like that. But you know, it is what it is. We're gonna have to live with it. Goku and Vegeta and Frieza's battle is the main thing that I'm looking forward to. We have a bunch of dialogue, and then at the end, I'll read the last lines for you. Piccolo says, "Frieza, so it was you that was reborn due to the Dragon Balls." And then Frieza asks, "Is Goku not ready yet?" Piccolo says he's not here, he's training on another world, which I would assume he's training with Whis and Vegeta, obviously. And then Frieza says, "So he's not on Earth." Frieza then says, "Where may I find him?" Sorbet says, "Lord Frieza, look." Sorbet also says, "Isn't that a spaceship?" And then on the next page, Gohan says, "Huh?" And Frieza notices that they are making an appearance by spaceship, and he says, "I've been waiting for you, Goku." So Frieza is now apparently going to fight Goku and Vegeta here. So this seems like it's going to be around an hour into the movie. I don't even really know, because it really is hard to tell how far this movie is going to really go before any fighting really starts. I would think it's like going to be 30 minutes, because really, how much of this event can really happen? We have Frieza being revived from the Dragon Balls. Obviously, they may show Goku and Vegeta training with Whis in the beginning of the movie, but then I wonder how far into the movie is it going to end up having this part where it's going to be pretty much the rising action where Goku and Vegeta just landed on Earth are now going to go fight Frieza. I just wonder, and I would assume that this is going to be the first battle between Goku and Frieza in his normal final form, until obviously Frieza transforms and defeats Goku in some way, and then Vegeta does something. We don't know if he's going to become a Super Saiyan God. We don't know if anything really is going to happen. We don't know what's going to really happen with Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza yet. But yes, that is it for this video about the second chapter of Fukatsu no F, also known as Revival of F, second chapter, all the spoilers. And yeah, obviously the movie itself, I'm waiting for it to be completely put in on the screen. Obviously, me reading this is technically spoilers for myself, but you know, for me, I honestly don't care as much, because you know, the story itself isn't really the huge thing for me. For me, this is mainly going to be the action on the screen and how it's portrayed through the voice acting and the animation, and how it's going to be amazing. So I just can't wait to see this in theaters. Obviously, this is going to be something that's going to be awesome to see on the big screen as well. Me just reading this first is just me, you know, I'm just reading it to see what the story is, so I can have a better understanding of it when I go into theaters, so I don't have to go in there puzzled on what the plot is and why this is happening or anything like that. But, you know, normally I probably wouldn't do this for any other movie, but Dragon Ball Z, I like it so much that I just can't keep myself away from this. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like down below, as well as to subscribe if you are new. And tell me anything that you thought about this chapter. What did you think? What do you think about Whis training Goku and Vegeta instead of Beerus? What do you think about Frieza himself and his coming back and all that stuff? I know a lot of people have some very interesting opinions about Frieza and his coming back and all that stuff, and I really would like to see your thoughts. And yep, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later with more Dragon Ball Z news, speculation, opinions, all that other stuff. And yep, that's it for me. Peace out.